What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Cosmos. Like the Galaxy took a 16-game break, we decided to take a little vacation of ourselves before recording another episode. I think it was a good cool-down period from the shitstorm that was last season. So, I'm Dylan, alongside the window to the left, which includes Mr. Mila and Mr. Darius. You guys mentioned it, as you guys have finally moved in together, this is only the second time you've actually been together in the same screen, which is very funny. That's how shit the Galaxy were this season, which sucks. But for this season moving forward, there's going to be a lot more of that. And we're also joined by Mr. NGF Andrew. I'm excited to be back. I'm happy to be back. Today, we're going to break down the new signings. We got two new guys in Jakob Glesnes and Jamir Johnson. We're going to talk about our potential new signings that we want to see, whether that's a 9 or a profile that we just think might be good. We'll then say potentially goodbye to a bunch of key rotation players and key members of this Galaxy side, which is sad. And then we will talk about the league's division reconstruction, which has been a big talking point in the MLS over this week. But let's kick on into it. Hell yeah. Well, I'm happy to be back. Like I said, it's been way too long. The last time it was me and Mila with Worship LA Galaxy, and it was a good time, but it's good to have the four of us. It was a long time ago, and it's good to have the four of us back. I'll quickly plug our channel real quick. We're at 123 subscribers as of today. Still growing and improving, but very important, and it will be linked in a collaboration post for this one. Mr. NGF Andrew has created his own YouTube channel. He put out a great off-season recap so far that we're going to kind of dive into here more today, but it's a good channel. It's the best channel because it's Mr. NGF Andrew. So go follow him, go like his stuff, as well as going to like and comment and subscribe and do all the fun stuff that you would do here. Do it on his page and show him some love. With that in mind, let's do a little welcome party. I'm going to throw up the 3 MLS Super Draft players that were introduced to the LA Galaxy. I know that Andrew is going to talk a little bit more about this, but most of these guys will play for Ventura and then kind of never see the A side, but they're welcome nonetheless. They are G's. In Palmer Bank, Sebastian, I'm not even going to, is it Conlon?
Conlon, I'm saying.
Conlon,
I don't
good.
think it'd be an Oregon.
Yeah. And then you can go ahead and say this one, Andrew.
We got Jaime Amaro.
Thank you. Pronunciation there. There was no shot. I read that one in first and I was like, there's no way. But Palmer Bank, that's in my wheelhouse.
Bread and butter right there, dude.
Yeah. So Andrew, I'm gonna let you take the wheel here and talk about these 3 new additions.
Yeah. So again, like Dylan mentioned, not too much to say. These are college kids, just really in the genesis of what could be a professional career for them. A lot of these players, they come in, they find out something else works better for them just in their life. These kids have degrees. They've probably been doing internships, a bunch of other things. So they have a lot of avenues they can go. Obviously trying to make the soccer thing work. Everybody's going for their dream, which is great. But there's just so much unknown, so much to be seen with a lot of them. Just going to do a really brief overview of these players' stats so you can get a general idea of them. We're going to start with Palmer Bank. Palmer, hardly know her. He's a 6-foot left back from Stanford University. He's actually the 2nd highest rated left back in the entire Super Draft. So in that position, it's a pretty interesting prospect. Born in 2003, 6 foot, 185. He's a young kid, but already, pretty physical. He's got a good frame on him, and he's only going to fill that out more. And I think he would be one of the more interesting ones to see potentially at VCFC, just because he is one of the more highly touted prospects. And we seem to have a knack for developing fullbacks at the Galaxy, most recently with Harbor Miller, but we have Mauricio Cuevas, who we'll talk about more. Obviously, Julian Araujo. There's a lot of big names in those positions. And again, this seems just like a good environment for these players to develop. He stays in California, moves a little bit south, but I think out of the 3, he's one of the ones to keep a closer eye on. From then, we go on to the Galaxy's 5th goalkeeper, Sebastian Conlin. He's 6'2", 180. Also from 2003, he went to the University of Kentucky. From Virginia, just like Greg Vanney, or I'm reporting from right now, another VA boy. So, but again, just another goalkeeper, another one in a pretty long line for the LA Galaxy. Potentially some chance, but again, Brady Scott seems to have that VCFC number 1 spot locked down. Maybe he can move into a number 2, but I expect to see maybe just a little bit of news about a transfer at some time, a loan, whatever it may be. Again, like Dylan mentioned, most of these players probably won't make that first team. And this might be an example of that, but who knows? There's always, space for surprise. But I wouldn't hold your breath. And lastly, we have Jaime Amaro, midfielder, 5'7". He's from Madrid, actually. The Galaxy, we love a young Spanish midfielder, especially a short one. So that's a little bit interesting, from Bryant University. He's from 2004, so a little bit younger. Obviously, a smaller type of guy. You expect that profile to be someone more agile, a little bit technical, can maybe spray a pass. But yeah, that's pretty much wraps it up. Again, maybe another prospect for VCFC to see if we could develop him, but that's probably going to be the most, at least in the coming year. Besides that, these aren't going to be people who are going to affect that first team too much. But I mean, it's an exciting time for them. Massive congratulations to all of these kids, taking that first step to the LA Galaxy. Biggest team in the league. Is not a bad team to get drafted by. So yeah, best of luck to all of them. If they can develop and impact the first team, all the better. That's what we hope for, but we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, no, it's great stuff when you can see kids like this grow and join a massive club. I'm going to be honest there. I left because I had a pizza being delivered, and I just ran out to the door to go grab the pizza. I just wanted to say that's how elite of a podcaster I am, is I'm able to do pizza duty and
So you ordered pizza.
That's how good of a podcast host I am.
Just
I
thought
don't
that
know
was
where
very,
you're going with this one.
no, there's no good way of going with it. I just want to say that I was a little checked out for about a minute there because I was really focused on my pizza and the pizza guy calling me, and it was not a great moment for me. But I do want to segue into a great moment, because this was I didn't even know this was a possible signing, and honestly, I think it's considered a wet dream signing for me, because I've been talking about getting a center back for so long now, and we signed a 3-time MLS All-Star, a guy that was the defender of the year in 2022, and we did it for all under $2 million, and he's not a DP, and I can't even believe that we got a player tacked on to this as well in Jamir Johnson. So I'm gonna flip it to the quad or the duo box over here, and I want to hear your guys' opinion on the new signing.
I'm thrilled on this one, honestly. I think it's going to be a big addition. I think it's exactly what we needed in that back line that was looking really, really rough and a bit behind pace for much of last year. I think it's a great partner for someone like Garces to learn from. He seems like a pretty calm head. I don't really watch a lot of Philly games, but whenever I do, he kind of commands that back line really strongly. So I'm excited to see what he brings. And I'm excited to see the first free kick he bangs in from like 40 yards.
Yeah, I think you guys covered most of it, but we've been needing this. A calm head, an experienced leader in the back that still has the legs to perform at the highest level for us. And that's diminished a lot with Yoshida over the last year and a half. And he's up on the outs anyways. So this, I think, perfect signing to fill that gap and also make us a bit younger, even though he's not the youngest of players.
Yeah. I mean, I said it's a wet dream signing because it is the perfect pairing for Emilio Garces, right? Like, that's who we're building around. That's what the defense is built around. We gave up the most. I had to have been up there for most goals in the league. I can't even remember the number. It was gross. It's like 60
most in
goals.
club history, 66.
66.
Tied
Fuck.
for most. Yeah.
That's one away from.
That's a goal next year, right?
That's No, fuck, no, it's not. Let's not even get close. Like,
Don't even joke about that, Andrew.
no, gosh.
For goal forward, obviously.
Yeah.
I think overarching, I'm going to kick this to you in a second, but for me, this is a team in Philly that's constantly been good defensively through a lot of. This is what Philly does best. They do really well and they ship off everybody. Glesnes has been there through all of that period. They just decided he hit the wrong side of 30, and so they needed to ship him off. And for the Galaxy to get a leader like that to put into a backline that was statistically one of the worst in the league over the last 3 seasons, it's not like just one-off thing here. Like we've been bad for a long time in the back, and Yoshida is getting up there in age, and we're going to talk about his potential departure. But to get a guy in his quote-unquote MLS prime, I don't even know if you could hit a home run as far as you've hit it if you're Wilkins. But Andrew, your thoughts on Mr. Glesnes?
Yeah, you guys said it. He's as perfect as a signing as we could hope for. And I think it's a really good showing of intent of this new front office. Now we're finally seeing for the first time the influence of someone like Robbie Ramaneni, who we've talked about a lot on this podcast, but revolutionized and set the standard for what data analytics is, player recruitment is in the league with the Seattle Sounders. And we all know how consistently competitive Seattle have been in the last couple of years. So to see that this is, the impact of it, it's pretty refreshing. I've talked about it a lot last season, but I was just dying to see what Robbie could do to kind of turn around our recruitment. And this is, I think, an excellent, first strike. So super stoked with it. Like you guys mentioned, I think the timing of it is serendipitous, not just because he's, a perfect leader, not too, 31. You hear that in terms of a footballer, you start getting a little bit nervous. But I've spoken with a lot of people. Jimmy King, who's a Philly beat writer, Philly Sports Nation, has covered them for the past 4 or 5 years, I think. He believes that Glesnes is someone who has easily, I think, 3 years in this league at a high level. Definitely still has his legs under him. According to him, hasn't slowed down too much yet. So I think if he just starts doing that within 1-2 years, I think that's fine, especially considering not just the role he's going to play, but the amount we paid. The experience, I think, is elite. 5 years in MLS since 2020. Besides that, was playing in Norway. It's just another perfect teacher, kind of another role model for Emilio Garces to kind of learn behind. And that's kind of the role that my Yoshida has been playing the past couple of years. Or basically, as soon as Garces learned, he was kind of the veteran and the young speedster. Now we have a veteran who does have a little bit more legs under him. And, probably at the MLS level is a little bit better than Yoshida has been. So it's just a massive upgrade. And, there is this speculation that Maya does return to one of his old clubs in Japan, but that's not for certain. There is the potential that we could keep him and we ship off someone like Zonka instead, which to me, I think is the right call, the right thing to do. But yeah, I think it's just, I think, a perfect addition to this rotation where you have your number 1, your number 2, and Glesnes and Garces. To have Yoshida back there with Rindov as well, who I think impressed a lot of us last year. It's a nice little rotation to have there. And for the first time in a while, you're not nervous when inevitably one of the 2 starters gets injured, because you do feel like there's a competent replacement waiting in the wings. So really, really great addition. Again, a home run from Rami from Kuntz. He's back in the kitchen. Great to see. And the deal itself is really interesting. It's a kind of a 2-for-1. We're going to probably talk a little bit about Jamir Johnson, 17-year-old kid from Philadelphia. Another really exciting prospect. He, I believe, won one of the MLS Next Fests with Philadelphia, I think, for his age class. Really was a standout there. And he caught the attention of some really big European teams, namely PSV. Reportedly, he's being scouted. He might not even, make it to LA before we make that loan, or he just makes that step to Europe. It just shows the immediate value we get. And to have someone that exciting, that valuable, on top of someone like Glesnes for 1.1 million, just 500, 600K this year, it's impossible, I think, to get any better. So a super, super home run of a signing. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, for a little bit more on it, like Dylan mentioned, you can check the YouTube channel. We did do a nice little deep dive on him, on both of these players, but especially Glesnes. And it's just, I think, a lot to be exciting about. to be excited about. And if we can continue to see some more signings that are as serendipitous, are as perfect, I'm going to be stoked. If I feels like we're finally taking a step into the 21st century, this next phase of MLS, it'd be nice to join the rest of the league in terms of this, and make some competition and give Ricky Puig kind of the supporting cast that it feels like he deserves. If he drug us all the way to a cup in 24 on one ACL with the backline that we have, to think that we're going to shore that up and potentially get stronger in the midfield, stronger in attack, it's a pretty exciting thought. So it gets me so stoked for what's going to come in next year.
Yeah, it's a statement of intent, like you said. It's saying that last season was a blimp, a blip in the system. That it really was just down to Ricky being hurt, and we just weren't ready for the challenge that came with that. I do want to stick on Jamir Johnson just for a second, because I think that it also shows a direction of just intent from the sporting group, and the idea that we have been very good at building out defenders. That's something that we clearly have seen, but the forward portion of the game has not been there. We didn't have a backup to any winger this season.
We saw
At
Harbor
any
Miller
point.
up there so much. Right.
Harbor Miller, Cuevas, like
left back. Yeah.
Lepley barely even played up there, and he's considered more of a central attacking player. So to have the intent of the idea of like, we need to go get wingers that are local, that can play minutes potentially for us, like, that's a big thing. And also, you rarely ever see like MLS next players get traded. Like that doesn't happen often because they're so young. Like this kid's 17. Like fuck, like this picture, I feel a little weird, like almost having it up in the podcast because he's so young. Like,
yeah, he looks really young.
We need parental
right,
consent.
right. And the idea that this is a kid that's being scouted by PSV, I think from my understanding of the move itself, the incentive based stuff is almost primarily put on him. Like if he goes off, like Philly is going to get a very good return from him being a Galaxy player and potentially a superstar somewhere else. So just a really interesting wrinkle to an already really good deal for the Galaxy. So I don't really even know where to go with this, other than like I kind of hope that he plays, but I don't know where he's going to play, because we'll talk about that more later in different pods, but like we're not playing in any other comps other than the two that we've got, which is C.O.C and just the league itself. So just a piece to kind of put on the back burner until further notice.
To have a deep team. I think just one thing I want to mention is it really shows, I feel like we finally have a complete more front office. For a while, especially in the Klein era, it's just Vanny, do everything. You're in charge of it all. And then we got Will Kuntsen, and kind of took a lot of that load off. But when I think of Will Kuntz and his specialty, it's maybe more the business side. I imagine he was the one who orchestrated this deal, which we just talked about. Is a really, really, I think, a fantastic deal for the Galaxy. And now we have someone so he's the deal guy. Vanny, let's say he's our soccer guy. We have someone like Ravi now who can actually help us identify what the numbers say the holes are and identify prospects who can fill those holes. And, there's are all very different jobs. They're all super important jobs for a front office to do. And it feels like for the first time in 10 years, probably longer, we finally have that, and we're already seeing the benefits of it. It's just exciting. This is only the start, I feel like, of this group that we have in the FO. And it's just so good to have that. We have our numbers guy, we have our business guy, we have our soccer guy. And now I feel like we are just finally set up to go out and kill it. So let's see what the FL can do. I'm just glad that we finally have that. It's like the bare minimum, right? We're fully staffed for the first time in a while.
Right.
Yeah, this is never something we'd make like 3-4 years ago.
Last year.
Hell no.
Never.
Who's the oldest, loserist, ex-washed European player we could find? Would usually be the MO. So now we're flipping the script a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna change tides to potential signings, where we kind of haven't done that, I think, as a group, of like maybe a profile or a player. Obviously, I mentioned that Nasi's got his loan that might come back here. They don't seem willing to pay the $7 million. I brought up the idea of like Christian Benteke is still on the market. I don't know exactly where he's going. Is that a striker that could fit? There's also midfield, supplements. Do we want to go into that? And then there's obviously the goalie in Horvath. But I'm gonna go back to the duo box here. I'm gonna let you guys kind of take the reins here, and we'll lead the direction of this portion of what's next with whatever you guys say.
Do we want to start with realistic or what we want to happen.
I know what you're gonna say.
Well, I've changed after recent news.
All right.
Yeah.
You go.
Talk about the recent news, and then we'll.
I
we'll
mean,
go into-
yeah. I think Lewandowski was the one that I really wanted for the longest time, but it seems like he's pretty intent on staying at Barcelona and taking a pay cut there to make it happen. So we're gonna have to give up on that dream. But I think I saw that Dybala has interest in the MLS, and to be honest, if we were gonna go get any player to go play in the 9 position for the LA Galaxy, I think I'd be pretty happy with Dybala.
You can play on the wing too.
He's versatile. He can fill in many spots, and then also he can score goals. And we don't need necessarily an all-out 9, like an all-out goal scorer, if he can do the other things really well that a false 9 can do. So that's my hopeful one. I think Nasi coming back is the more likely one, and I think he can offer a lot of what Dybala does, but just at a lower tier. And then
Did we not lose the Dybala already? Did he not? Is he not going to like
Dybala? Did he already commit somewhere?
I thought.
Not that
Was there like heavy rumors from like South America?
No.
I think so.
Lame.
I think it was like, I could be wrong. I could be
Why would
wrong.
he go to Boca this
I could
early?
be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But it's somewhere in Argentina, I think.
That's fair, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, that would be great. I agree. I'd love him. He's always been a player I admire.
I don't
It
know
does
if I
feel-
necessarily agree with the idea that we don't need an all-out 9. I think that was the
I mean,
one thing
he's
that we
also
missed.
a
this
goal
year.
scorer. I'm just saying he's so good at
Yeah.
the other stuff that like it kind of defeats that. I guess if you want an more MLS level player, then it would probably you'd prefer the striker. But in terms of link up and all that, I do think Nascimento's kind of in between the two of those.
Mhm.
I think he's a
We
great
haven't-
link-up player,
yeah.
though. Like,
We
I
haven't
mean, I
seen
think he
him
does
in
the
the
job
finishing.
right there perfectly, like the same way that Jovic did.
Mhm.
If not better, I think his link-up play was really crisp throughout the whole year. So I mean, I'd like to see him come back.
Boca in January would be so
Was that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't
so
know. I'm kind of interested in the Benteke thing, and I
That
don't
was
know.
my-
I could
But I
see that. I
figured
mean, that he'd be the
Let
perfect
you
focal
talk
point.
about it.
Yeah, I don't like it, so long as he's not a DP, right? Like, I don't
Yeah,
want to pay
that's the
DP
thing.
money for
I
Christian.
think that would be the issue with him is he would want to come in on that type of money.
He's the most valuable striker in the current market, I believe. I don't think there's anybody else that's
Within the league,
currently
for sure.
available in the league that would garner that much attention and money. Because I think he still had like 10 plus goals last season in a season where DC was one just as bad as us, and two,
Mhm.
he had 0 service. So
And he didn't play all the games. It was something like 23, 25 appearances,
yeah,
which
and I
for me
think
is another big question mark. But
Good
I think one of
turnaround.
the only game that we actually saw all together was the one that he played in, and that dude's a fucking freak.
and he was a sub. He played like
Yeah.
30 minutes. Yeah.
He's just I think the idea of having someone that can be a conversion monster around Ricky and Peck and Paintsel is what I'm looking for, just because last
Mhm.
season Peck and Paintsel were not conversion monsters, specifically Peck. And the idea of Peck being more of a creator seems to be the way that the team and himself are going. And I don't want Peck to
That's
have to be
fair.
in a spot where he needs to be scoring goals at the rate that he did in his first season. Because he finished with 17 in his first season?
Yeah, he's not going to do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's proven that he's not
I'm not
lethal
so
like that.
sure that he wouldn't if we don't get the right thing in. For me, I feel like the biggest thing that both Peck and Paintsel missed last year was that they were the focal points in attack.
Yeah.
Someone like Christian Benteke, someone like Jovic, even if we see, Nasi really kind of step into himself, it's just so easy for the defenses to focus on them. But someone like Benteke, especially to Dylan's point, when he played against the Galaxy, you just immediately notice a difference. When he was on the pitch, he just has this gravity, makes space around him. And I think that's what a Galaxy striker needs to be, not necessarily someone who's creating plays on his own, scoring his own goals, but he's pulling defenses away and making spaces for people like Pooch, for people like Peck, people like Paintsel. That's what they thrive off of, and that's just didn't happen for them at any point last season. With that back, I almost don't doubt that they can reach similar numbers, if not better numbers. So I do think a Benteke signing would be exciting. I think someone like Paulo Dybala could do that a lot. Really great at manipulating space, manipulating defenders. But again, let's see if Ravi's numbers kind of say something similar. or if Robbie's numbers say that maybe we have that. But I think to Dylan's point, that's what we need, just another focal point to really open these guys up. And we saw what they can do with an open defense in 24. So
I think Puig is a big part of that too. So him being
that's
back,
the thing. Having two of those like focal
dribbling,
points,
yeah.
it's
He
just
takes
so
the
easy
ball
for
so
those two
deep, he
wingers.
dribbles in the midfield, he draws people in, paints on pack, and whoever our striker are going to have way different chances than they did this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's hard to say that one or the other would work, because I would also like to see a Nascimento linking up with Puig to make shit happen, either for Puig or the other players.
Absolutely.
I guess my only concern with Dybala is too much of the same constant. Like Ricky, Royce, and Dybala seems like a lot of the same thing, right? Like I'm just picturing Marco Royce. This is the other issue, is I'm pipeline dreaming that Marco Royce is going to be able to have a semi-healthy year like he did last season.
Mm-hmm.
That's not realistic in the same sense of anything that's kind of been given to us. Like,
I mean, a reduced role, I think it might. It's probably doable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same role that he's played last year, so he has to do less. I think he could stay there. It's all luck though, with knowing him in his career.
Yeah, for sure.
Dybala does make sense on the idea that we are banking on the idea of a guy coming back from an ACL and Marco Royce being healthy for consistent stretches of the season. If the substitute there is Dybala, that's actually not an awful idea either. At the same point, like,
keeps the standard high.
Mm-hmm.
And then how much are we paying for that though?
That's true too.
That's what I'm worried about.
How much does he cost? Is he a DP?
Yeah, I mean, he would have to be one. There's no way.
Yeah, so someone's got to go.
Especially the club's competing for his signature. Like, if we're not competing with.
You got to think about things like discovery rights. Like, it's probably going to be Charlotte who has that for some.
I always forget about discovery rights, and they piss me off every time.
Yes.
Yeah, like the Lua one where you're like, oh, perfect, we're totally gonna get him, and then Miami comes into the picture to potentially get him. It's like, no, he's actually been talking to Chicago for like 4 years, and they've had his discovery rights because
it makes no sense in terms of just scouting and world football. Like, how could I don't know? I'm not gonna get into it.
It's lame, is what it is. Okay, let's talk about the other guys, because obviously the 9 is a focal point to us, but Tom Bogert on that I can't say their pod name.
Lacuna Galaxiana.
Thank you. They say, I think on the podcast for them, he said that the 9 is a position that Vanny wants. It's not necessarily a priority for the Galaxy, which I find fascinating, because that's the only main piece where I'm like, that's what we need. But sorry. The goalkeeper position is another spot where I think I've seen the most links. We were linked to the goaltender of the year that went to Miami, and then Horvath.
Yeah.
We have fucking 40 goalies. And I like Mitrovic. I thought he totally proved himself worthy of the starting spot.
Yeah.
And Horvath in particular, I'm assuming is a high level TAM goalie if he's coming from Europe, unless they're saying like because he's American, he'll take a pay cut, but
I doubt it.
I don't think it's that. It sounds like they were trying to get it for registration purposes for the squad and to get another U.S. national. That other guy, that other goalkeeper would have been.
I don't think it counts.
No, he might count just because there are. It has to do with the homegrown thing.
I feel like they have Canadian teams in the league. I don't remember if it counts, but in my head, that's like what they're trying to do is just fill up one of those necessary spots with the goalkeeper so that we can go get an international somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. The international spot. Miko takes one up right now. Free that up would be interesting. Someone like that.
Is Horvath worth that though? I haven't seen anything other than the one international game where he went crazy as a sub for me to tell you that I think that Ethan Horvath is worth the LA Galaxy sign.
I think it definitely, like, this is where it's interesting talking about what you were saying, where the front office maybe has different opinions on what positions needed. So if they're trying to free up an international spot there, then where are we going to use that free international spot? I thought it would be the striker, but if you are saying it's a different position, I can't really see what position that would be, unless it's like a I don't know.
In my head,
Are one of the
I
wingers leaving?
yeah. Let's say again we do free up that spot. Miko goes. We bring in Horvath, which for me the big question there is I don't know if Horvath is much of an upgrade. I don't think it's much of a downgrade either, though. So I think it's one that when it happens, I would be a little bit disappointed just because I feel like this is a big year for Mikovic. I feel like he would kind of prove himself, like shake off that rusty 2024 and or 5 and have a great 26. But beyond that, let's say that does happen. Something that was interesting to me is that Gaston Brugman is a free agent now after leaving Nashville. And he's still, I think, one of the top midfielders in the league. He had some really impressive numbers in his time in Nashville. And I feel like if he were to come back, I think he would just drop right back in and not really miss a beat. And again, the midfield is somewhere that we said is a lot last year needed some help. It was pretty much Edwin Cerrillo and Inshallah for a lot of last year. Someone like Gaston Brugman, who helped really form Cerrillo in that first year in 2024, I think would be great. Has a fantastic relationship with the team, still with Ricky Puig. Am I wrong in saying he's Uruguayan and that would probably also help someone like Sanabria, who also needs kind of a tutor, a mentor as well. And beyond that, he's 32, I want to say 33. I'm not 100% sure. But again, I still think he's serviceable on maybe like a 1-year deal and really get Sanabria up to speed. And again, just be a massive piece that we could drop in, rotate, and not worry about, know that we're going to be steady. I feel like that takes a lot of boxes for what we need in our midfield. Good in defense, good at a forward pass. You think of that assist in the 2024 MLS Cup final. It's just, I think there's a lot of upside to someone like Gaston Brugman. Free agent, you don't have to worry about a transfer fee. And to me, it's one that makes sense. And I just hope we're making a call. You know, I think it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
But that's one option. We have this international spot freed up from Mikovic coming in or Horvath coming in. That I think that would be an interesting place to use it there if we don't use it at the 9.
If I'm pretty sure he doesn't even cost an international spot. I'm pretty sure he got a green card, and he's not even an international spot. The minute that he got said, we don't want your service anymore. That's been top of mind to me, is bringing him back as soon as possible. He'll be cheaper. I don't think he's an international player.
Even better.
Like you said, he's a perfect mentor to Sanabria and Winder, and isn't he like Ricky's best friend? Wasn't he like
they're super
like
they're close.
right? Yeah. So look, the fact that
Ricky happy, yeah.
Ricky was he was like posting. He was like publicly upset.
Yeah. That's true.
That's right about Brugman.
So bring him back ASAP. I can't think of any other midfielders though. I guess that would be the only other spot that I could see use of the international spot is if you were to say, I don't think Sanabria, I don't think Winder is completely ready to make an MLS Cup run. So who are we going to bring in alongside? You know, I mean, Inter Miami is a great example. They just brought in, DePaul to play that type of role, right, in their midfield. So can you get someone like that for Ricky? I don't know who that is.
They have different rules in Miami.
They're allowed to play with 48 international players. There's 3 Americans are all allowed to be their third string goalies. Look, I know that they've bought all their international spots, but I thought that was like super hard to fucking do, and they're just able to
I don't understand how they did that.
When Adidas and Continental Tire are helping fund it, I'm sure it gets a little bit easier.
And Apple. He does get it. Part of us watching games and paying the lucrative price that we paid over the last 2 years goes straight to Messi. So if anything, we are a part of that championship run. I think we should add half a
MLS, I'm waiting for my ring. You have my address.
Cool. I don't have any other potential signings that I want to talk about. I'm assuming that as the month goes on here, because we have games in February, we'll eventually have more guys brought up in the circulation of news, especially with the January window opening up. Is it on the 1st, Mila? Just the window in general. Is it the 1st? I have no idea.
I was thinking about how MLS works with the transfer with this one, but it's fun. Yes, yeah.
It's the same window for that. We technically traded for Glesnes, so that's different. What a weird league. I'm so happy that we're switching formats. So
Waiting
it all
for
makes
that
sense.
to go
It's
to
gonna be
that,
big.
yeah.
Anyways,
Which
let's move on. I did not mean to have this up yet, so that's not going to be there. Well, saying goodbye. We've got 3 players in particular to talk about. We already kind of hit the goalie spot. I think we're all okay. It sounds like with Mitrovic being gone, if it means getting an international spot.
if we
I think
improve,
I mean, yeah, I'm okay situationally. I really liked Mitrovic.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be happy about it, but I mean, depending if we get someone really, really interesting, then.
it's a goalie, right? Like his impact on the game is not.
Well, I mean, depending on who the international slot is for.
yeah.
Is what I mean.
Yeah,
No,
someone
no,
can
you're
impact
right.
the game because someone like Miko, he kept us in so many games. I feel like he did earn us a lot of points on his own last year. So if you could get someone else who can earn us some more points, but the math on that gets a little bit interesting, hard to calculate.
Yeah. Silly league. All right. Well, let's do a quick goodbye to Diego Fagundez. It sounds like he's pretty much gone. We've all known this. This has been the worst kept secret. They just haven't spoken to each other since telling him like, we can't pay you. So go test the market. If someone pays you, great. And if nobody pays you, we'll take you back for nothing.
Yeah.
Which Diego Fagundez shouldn't do. Not at this point of his career. He should be trying to make as much money as possible
Mhm.
in the best situation for him. So Valiant
That porch
Soldier.
insurance isn't cheap.
No, it is not. And he was our player of the year, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love this league. This league's awesome, dude. You just have to lose your player of the year
Strip them off
because
every year.
Not if you're Miami.
Okay. No, they are a special exception because they have the Messiah. It's different. It's different. They have God sent apparently.
He has a Taliban over there.
Okay. What sad avenue do we want to go down next? Do we want to talk about homegrown sad or El Capitan?
I mean, we already talked about Yoshida a little bit.
He's your guy.
That he's planning, or there's talks that he's going to go back to this club that just got promoted to the first division of Japan.
Mm-hmm. I believe that's where he started his career.
It sounds like he's gone to me.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the team that gave you the chance to even have this career, and like you have the opportunity to end it there and be the captain probably over there in your home country. Like it just seems like it's done. I wouldn't fault him for taking that opportunity either. For sure. Regardless of him being our captain, I think it's a great opportunity for him, and we just got the replacement. He took a pay cut to be with us this last year too. So
he didn't really seem happy about that either.
He's done everything he needs to do for our club, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Brought us a chip. Yeah.
It's interesting to me. I'm still in this camp that I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, and the main reason for that is his daughter. That's the main reason he stayed last year. The only reason really he took that pay cut. He wants some stability for her. He mentioned in interviews in that offseason that she's been moving around pretty much every year following in his career. And I believe she's like in middle school, high school. She's around that age, super formative. So maybe she's thinking about college. It's a great place to do it here in the States. When you're doing high school transcripts, all of that, it would just make it simpler for her, for him as well. I think that might be the big thing. And in my head, if I'm, taking all, I guess the emotion out of it, if I'm Will Kuntz, I'm shipping Zonka and I'm keeping Maya. So I think as a fan, which I would prefer, it's a no-brainer there. So I think as a team, it benefits us to keep Maya, and I think it might benefit his family to stay, have that stability. I mean, but also at the same time, to do it for another pay cut, that's tough. I would pray that doesn't happen for him. But again, I think there's, also logic between him staying from the club side, from a personal side. So it's, really a decision for him to make at this point with his family, I guess, and we'll see how that plays out.
Retired. I don't know. I think he could just go to Japan for a year if that's the case.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
But I mean, his daughter is a good point to bring up.
Yeah. No, I know, but I've seen players before. Just at the end of the career, they're just gonna go away for a year. Yeah, though, it is being away from the family for a year. But if it's uprooting your family for 1 year and to retire afterwards, then I've seen players.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that is a good point. I mean, I'd
Just,
be totally happy if he.
No, that's another great point.
I don't have any argument to keep Zonka at the club.
No.
He's only made arguments
zero
against
good
himself this year.
Yeah. What was the next one, Dylan?
Well, no, I do want to say the one argument to keeping him is if you are a double agent, you just want to see the worst for us. Like,
Yeah, Kuntz still has some faith to LAFC. That's his reason.
Well, Kuntz, yeah, no, AFC is still at heart.
No, the next guy is Cuevas. There's been multiple clubs apparently interested in Liga MX for him. It almost sounds, from Tom Bogert's explanation, it sounds like there's smoke, there is fire. There are teams interested, and it sounds like we're open to hearing calls.
I'm not open.
You're not open.
I'm not open, dude. That
Close
guy's a
the door.
baller. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be a big loss. I don't know. I feel like we have this habit of, I think Araujo we got rid of at the right time, but we sometimes get rid of these players right before they kind of really can give us their best season. And I think Cuevas showed us a lot of what he could do last year, and I think he was one of the only positives from last year. So I'm kind of a bit confused at the notion that we need to now get rid of him. I mean, Yamane is not getting any younger. We don't really have anyone else on the right, except maybe like Harbor Miller can play there, I guess. But I don't know. He seems like a much more solid option, and he gives us a lot going forward. He gives us a whole different dimension if we want to change formations as well. So it's a head scratcher for me. I don't really get it.
I'm kind of on the same page with that. I just also don't see how we'd reinvest it now. Yeah. It seems like if that does happen, it kind of would be for profit, and this is not the time to do anything for profit.
He's still unknown too. Like, to most of these leagues, I feel like they know him well enough to be like, "Oh, this guy's pretty good." Like he was one of their better players this last year, but like in a season where we're good,
yeah. But
how many more assists?
So it's pure profit.
Yeah, it's pure profit. But I mean, like I think we can get even more pure profit next year. Depending on the striker we get too. Imagine we have Benteke, he's going to have like 10 assists on this season.
It's hard for me. I understand why they're letting him go. If that's the case, I also understand why the fuck we wouldn't want him to go. Like he was our backup at left wing, right back, left back. He played everywhere. He was awesome. But I think Efrain Alvarez went for 1.5. So what is Cuevas worth, I think is the question. And I think there's ambition from the player's side as well. If he knows that he's behind Mickey Yamane for another season, there might be just ambition for him to just go to Liga MX. I'm assuming he's got, I mean, his name is Cuevas. I sure hope there's ties to Mexico at some point. I know he's a Mexican-American national. So there's probably this like coming together of minds where you're like, hey, there's time for you to go and maybe become that next great player. We can get good money out of you. And then also from a Galaxy perspective, maybe they just value Harbor Miller a little more. And that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, the kid was playing CCC matches at, what was he this year? 17? So they clearly view him just as valuable as Cuevas. They both got similar game time towards the end of the season. Yamane is just a great player. I think that's what's getting lost in translation here for me is he's so good. And the game time in a perfect 11, Yamane's probably starting still. So unless you ship out Yamane, which is a much harder thing to do at this point in his career, Cuevas might just make the most business sense. And not that I want that because I like him a lot and we don't have any backup winger coverage as it is. I think I've said this summer, like if we were to sell Peck or Paintsel, I'd kind of just want to see him get minutes there. So it's a tough one from a fan's perspective. Andrew, I don't know where your head's at in comparison. Yeah,
I feel like it's tough. Like both things are true. He, I think, has a lot of value still for the Galaxy. He can do, I think just so much. Someone like everybody's going to benefit from the return of Ricky, and for him to have had the year he did last year without him, I think it's all just super positive signs for the growth he has. And I think that's what Liga MX clubs see as well, especially, how well he did against Mexican teams in CONCACAF Leagues Cup. There was that 2-assist game in like 5-8 minutes against Leon. Like he just tore them up. And if you're a Mexican side, that's the kind of player you want on your team. It's someone who could tear up other Mexican teams. So there's a lot of value there for them as well. And like Dylan mentioned, there's just so much more financial upside than someone like Yamane. And I think I just want to reiterate, Yamane has received a lot of flack. I think deservedly so at times, but I felt like 2/3 of the season, I felt like he was solid. He's just so solid, our most solid defensive right back. If you leave him, you're really only stuck with attacking players. And if you're talking about versatility, setting game plans up for different teams, you're just kind of limiting your options if you're sticking with Cuevas and Harbor Miller, two similar-ish players. Whereas you have a Cuevas and a Yamane, or a Miller and a Yamane, you have an attacking right back for games that require that. You have a more defensive one for games that require that as well. So I think there is, a kind of a tactical upside to keeping Yamane. And if we're talking tactical upside, keeping Yamane, financial upside by selling Cuevas, it's kind of two positives linking up together. So that's where I might lean towards just because of that. But like you guys mentioned, I feel like anything is possible. We'll see what happens. And the number has to be right. Mexican clubs, they do like to spend. They're not afraid to. But we'll see how much they're willing to spend on someone like Cuevas. But again, he's someone who's proven that he can tear up Mexican side. So I feel like he'll have a good amount of value. There's just all these things that kind of push towards that Cuevas leaning, Yamane staying direction. So that's where I think the camp I'm in. But again, there's arguments for both sides. And it's hard to be... There's reasons to be happy and sad no matter what happens.
Yeah. I really don't like the idea that we're only playing in 2 comps. I thought the U.S. Open Cup was perfect for us this year in terms of getting guys minutes. You're only playing in 2 comps, and CCC is a front-loaded competition. It's done by the time I think the World Cup comes around. So we're only playing once a week, maybe twice a week for most of the season. It's like it literally... Sorry, we watched the same fucking team literally all year, twice with the Galaxy and United, and this is the same situation. Like, guys that need minutes aren't going to get minutes because you have to win right away because the pressure's there to win right away, and there's just not enough minutes to go around. And I think if I had to guess, Vanny probably favors Yamane in a lot of spots.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess when you put it that way, it makes a little more sense. But I don't know. I still think. I mean, there was portions of last season where I thought Cuevas was a much more effective player than Yamane. I think overall Yamane is much better, but I don't know. I think Cuevas can make a name for himself and make a challenge. Yeah.
The whole thing sucks balls.
Yeah, it does.
Sucks balls. I hate having to get rid of players that are good when I know that there's shitters still sitting around.
And they don't want to leave the club. Like I don't know.
I hope it's a bunch of farce, but
same here.
I don't know. I don't know
anymore. The next goodbye is going to be me, though. I have to go.
All right. Well,
I'll catch you guys. I'm dipping out early.
We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. See you guys on the next one. Peace.
All righty. Well, then there was 3. There was 4, and then there was 3. And like a good goodbye, we don't get to play the Smurfs multiple times a year anymore.
Great transition.
Great transition, right? I do those decent. This has been a howler for me of an episode. I had the pizza dilemma. My camera was going to die. That's why I disappeared in the last segment. So I had to go run and grab another freaking battery pack. It's
preseason for us too,
Right. But the transitions, I've done those decent. Those have been decent today. Oh, yeah. Anyways, the league is going through its own evolution, just like this podcast and just like everybody else. And it looks like we're going to have a division set up, which, by the way, I'm very for, because I think the league has just been too spread out for too long. It's been the biggest complaint from everybody coming over from European leagues is like, why the fuck are the LA Galaxy playing the New York Red Bulls? That's super fucking far away. And now we get this more centralized idea where you're playing clubs that are close to you. It's going to create some more rivalries. Like, I think us versus now what'll be probably the Texas squads will be heightened, right? You play them twice.
Already a lot of beef there with Austin as well. That's an exciting one to look out for. Houston, I think both of those teams, there's some blood there. It could be exciting.
The only thing that I don't like, and it's only for a season and a half, is the idea that we're going to have to play the hottest months of the year, right? For Texas in the summer against them. That sucks. I didn't want that. But it's global warming is coming for everybody, so it's not really going to matter much. Mila, what are your thoughts on the relocation? Are you sad, happy, nothing? Do you even care?
I don't like Real Salt Lake. I just feel like every time I go and watch them play against us, it ends bad. So the fact that we're not paired with them is a positive for me. Other than that, I guess it's good. I don't really have any big feelings about it, but I am interested to see how adding any additional teams to the league affects this.
Yeah.
Would you like? I don't want to get too much into it, but does that mean we have to add 5 teams the next time we add a team?
Probably not.
Then
I
that means
think
one of these
it'd be
divisions is gonna have an
32.
extra team.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
everybody would play an extra game, and then
That's
I
fair.
think it'll be really interesting to see what happens with Vancouver and how that evolves. I'm assuming that'll play a
Right.
role in this as well. Like if Vancouver doesn't stay in Vancouver and they travel down to Phoenix or to Las Vegas, like does that make sense for them to still be in that division? Does it make sense for them to be in the South Division? I don't really know. But the idea that I don't know if another expansion is coming anytime
I don't
soon.
think it would. At this point with this, I don't. It doesn't look likely.
30
And
teams
also
is a lot
30
of teams.
teams is a lot. Yeah, when I read
lot of
30
teams.
teams single table, I was like, wait, it's a lot of teams.
It's a lot of teams. I mean, look, 32 would be what NBA, right? NBA is at 32, or they're about to be at 32 as well. So there's the chance that it happens. It probably will because the money is right for the league. But where do they
I
even
don't know.
go? Where?
There's a big rise in lower level football
Yeah.
in the United States right now, and I think that's where the gaps are going to get filled. I don't know if there's going to necessarily be room for these big MLS teams to just pop up out of nowhere now because there already is a presence of another club in those areas.
I also find it interesting when we talk about expansions, it usually has to do with the talent pool that's available, right? So like the NBA, there's so much talent in the NBA that adding an extra team or two would just make more parity and it would be equal. If you were to add 2 more teams in this league, would they be legal? Or would it be equal to the rest of the league? I'm not so sure about. I don't know if there's enough depth of American talent currently to make that work. To your point, there's so many other good USL sides that are starting to pop up that have good talent that are going abroad that don't need this pipeline anymore. So I don't know if that's
especially if they end up going with that D1 route, which is their intention. So
right.
Could have 2 pretty interesting leagues pretty soon. But
it'd be fun.
Yeah, this is interesting. For me, what's in my head is the path to playoffs, and I haven't read too much. Like I didn't read an announcement based on this. Maybe you can fill me in, Dylan. But with 6 teams, I'm thinking it's the top 3, maybe top 4 that qualify. I'm not 100% sure, but
I think it's a single table. So the only thing the divisions do is you play those teams twice. So we'll play LAFC twice, SD twice, Austin, Houston, Dallas twice, and then the rest of the league gets split up. I think similarly where you're only going to play them once.
Yeah,
I think there are
every
some
other
teams
year sometimes.
It's basically to do like reduce the distance traveled throughout the year for each team, I think, right?
Yeah, that's the goal because I think that's been the biggest complaint is
that is a big complaint when people come over
or
even other people watch other countries watching the MLS. I feel like that just doesn't they can't comprehend it. It doesn't make sense because of the scale of the country.
I was gonna say, isn't the trip from LA to Sacramento the distance of like the longest distance in the EPL? It's like from
like a drive. It's pretty damn close. I think it's a little less, but depending how fast you drive. But yeah, it is. It's not that bad in most of the European countries. It's nowhere near as bad to travel to some of these away games. And they already complain about that shit in Europe. A lot, actually. Champions League games, they have to do a little trip to the Midwest, and they're complaining. So if they're complaining and we're trying to bring over those types of players, trying to match that level of league, we can't be having our guys doing ridiculously
long more attractive.
And getting tired and I don't know. It's not possible. So this is a step in the right direction as we seem to be going again.
Yeah. To
Um,
put it into perspective real quick, Andrew, before you take the
Mhm.
reins. So there's been a lot of talking points because Chelsea plays Newcastle this weekend. And that's like a super far travel.
yeah.
It's 249 miles. That's the equivalent of getting from San Diego to
That's,
about like
that's going to like
Yeah.
Vegas from LA.
Yeah, like on this map, like I'm gonna
Ridiculous, bro. You
I'm
know
gonna
how
make
long
it
that
big.
flight is?
That's literally like
An
it's
hour-long
almost,
flight.
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Andrew, you were gonna say.
Yeah, again, I was just thinking, like, for me, my thing would be how will the playoffs work? But if sounds like single league table, probably the same amount of teams are going to qualify. So I'm not sure if that changes. But again, you're talking about just the West versus the East. Traditionally, historically, the East is a little bit of a higher competition table. And, Western teams have kind of been able to maybe coast a little bit, qualify into the playoffs on less points. So it kind of maybe just forces Western teams to maybe raise that standard a little bit. That'll be interesting. Or will we see mainly Eastern teams qualify? Will we see mainly Western teams drop out? I think that's an interesting point to think about as well. But at the end of the day, the MLS is like, if you do mid, you should be fine. You're going to be in the playoffs. And I think the expectation for any team, and especially the LA Galaxy, has to be a lot higher than doing mid. So playoffs isn't something that I don't think we should be worrying about, but you never know. We could have a year like 2024 and 27, and all of a sudden it's, squeaky bum time again, and we're not making the playoffs again. So it's interesting. And it just, again, if it raises the bar for the league, for these Western teams, I think that's good. If it forces us to be better, to sign better players, I think that's good too. But again, just interesting. We'll see how that'll play out.
The league is taking all the right steps in the right direction. I think they've done really well this summer in aligning themselves with the European calendar, aligning themselves with the way that Europe works, because they do it the best. And we've been trying to fake that job and make it Americanized for way too long. So everything has been good. The only thing that's left is to kind of get Garber out of his spot. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I'm here nor there if so long as they keep doing the right things.
Yeah, I think on that point, really quickly before I move on, Josh Gessman on Corner of the Galaxy, they recently did an episode and they had a director or something, but a high official in the MLS. And towards the end of that podcast, he mentioned that Garber is, the league is working on phasing Garber out, and there is going to be a replacement soon. And according to what the guest mentioned, they're going to go with somebody probably a little bit younger, not from the same generation as someone like Don Garber, someone who, fresh ideas, new workflows, whatever it is. So change is probably coming into the league in a lot of big ways. We're already seeing it. I feel like Garber is doing a good job of laying the foundation for what that jumping pad will be. But I think it will be exciting to see some new change. And as I'm thinking that, I think someone who kind of fits that description well, who has worked in the league, is someone like Will Kuntz. Will we see Commissioner Kuntz one day? I feel like that's pretty interesting to think about. I feel like he ticks a lot of those boxes for the league. So we'll see wherever they go. That's just me throwing something out there, crazy speculation. But all of that to say that the league is changing in a lot of big ways. And so is U.S. Soccer. Again, we talked about it a little bit. There's USL pursuing that D1 status to have two top leagues in the U.S. is just going to do more for a talent pool. And I think it's, again, besides the World Cup, besides everything else going on, it can be an exciting time, I think, in U.S. soccer, especially with those hopefully refreshing, exciting changes in direction at the top. So we'll see.
Hell yeah. You nailed it. It's an exciting time to be a U.S. soccer fan. It's exciting time to be involved in U.S. soccer. I think that it's on the up and up.
Yeah.
It's just about continuing to nail the ideas, right? Like if they can get the ideas right on paper, then let's see them execute it when it comes time. I think that's all we had planned. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
We didn't talk about Pansel in the Sounders jersey.
I don't want to talk about it. I didn't put it in the notes for the same reason. I don't want. What's the was it Goldbridge? There was somebody that said like you're an absolute prat. Dari sent it when he posted it. You guys talk about it, and then I'm gonna see if I can find the quote.
I mean, I don't want to look too much into it. I'm hoping it was just like a jersey swap thing, but why even wear it?
I don't know.
got
I
it.
don't read too much into it, but it's just one of those funny like MLS things in a couple years that we might look back on. Like, how did that happen? That's just one of those funny things. Kind of Landon Donovan at the water fountain esque. Just one of those images that you look back on and kind of laugh at. But again, any other shirt, like did
he need to wear
just
a
anything
Seattle
else?
Sounders shirt?
Yeah, especially after
Clubs in the world.
they put like 8 on her head last year. So
Very funny image just in its totality. Like his trainer's wearing a Houston Rockets shirt. He's still wearing Galaxy shorts. That's what makes this photo.
I know.
Still wearing the Galaxy shorts.
It was just ridiculous.
The quote is, "If this is real, he's an absolute prat. So much for all the fans that supported you. Literally going rogue and sinking his value to get a move."
That's funny.
So shout out to Gary for bringing that up in the text.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's just poor choice.
Maybe it was laundry day.
Maybe, but again. How many training kits do we give? Does this guy have? Like, I don't know.
You're an Adidas athlete, I'm sure you got something else there.
Look, the Sounders kid is fire. Like, they did a good job with the kid. I hope it's just a game respecting game situation.
Hopefully. Yeah. In the off season and everything, it's just crazy to me. Like, come on, man.
Okay, if there was any player on our team, would you expect it to be Painsil that would have done that?
No, I think that's also why it caught me off guard the most.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy puts his heart into the badge every game, and this is the guy that's gonna go wear the fucking Seattle Sounders jersey.
He just got the armband for the first time like 2 months ago, and he
man.
Can't be doing that as a captain. It's funny. Oh man, I was gonna say something. I don't know where it went.
Hopefully, it was for a music video.
Yeah.
Where he rips the jersey and it's
rips it in
a
half.
Galaxy jersey underneath.
That's funny. Well, cool. I don't got anything else to talk about. I'm happy that you brought it up on a light note because that's pretty funny. I totally forgot about
deep
that
until it is.
No.
I would still prefer the guy on the other side to leave if we had to choose.
So funny to wear that shirt is one thing, but then to go ahead and post it, like you're probably training every day. You have a different training picture.
He had to shout out the best trainer in Ghana. That was the post. Like, I have to, regardless of what I'm wearing in the training.
Just Houston
The
Rockets.
sponsored post,
Seattle
you do what you
Sounders,
gotta
LA
do.
Galaxy. I just can't believe the combination of teams there.
He's announcing his tour locations.
Oh, you're so right. LA, Houston, Seattle. Cool. Alrighty, Andrew, I'm going to give you the spotlight here to plug your new channel and all your stuff, and then we will get on out of here.
Yeah, thanks so much. I think first thing I want to say is, definitely subscribe to Clash of Cosmos. I feel this was a fun one. I'm so glad to be back, and we're going to be up and running into this offseason as we get more and more news. And I have a pretty good feeling there's going to be a lot more exciting news to talk about. Jakob Glesnes-esque. So, definitely stay tuned to stay up to date. It's a crazy offseason. So much happens. And I feel like if you're unsure about what's real, what's not out there, what's a rumor, what's BS, what's da-da-da-da-da, stick with us and, we'll guide you through it. Besides that, you could also stick on YouTube. You can see the channel in the collaborated tab, I'm sure, but it's NGF Andrew as is seen on the screen. Nuestra Galaxia Futbolera. We will be continuing that off-season recaps, some more resources for you guys to know exactly what's happening as the news develops. But we'll have stuff from the regular season as well as we get into these press conferences, interviews with players, all of those things that you're used to seeing on my TikTok, my Twitter. We're going to, devote some more time, do some more breakdowns there, and hopefully, provide some good content for you guys. Besides that, it's the same thing as always. The Twitter, NGF Andrew. Instagram, Nuestra Galaxia Futbolera. We'll keep you guys up to date there. And the article is always for free on Los Angeles Sports Nation. Don't be afraid to hit the sub. Get an email from me every week. And I'd love to, to bug you guys, be in your inbox. But thanks again, guys. So much fun to be back. I can't wait for this season.
Yeah. Like you said, it's good to be back. And like you said, we are 4-5 people deep that constantly put out content every single day for you guys to enjoy. And we hope you enjoy hearing us fan out because that's what we are. We're a fan channel for fan people. and one reporter. That does good work. So go follow Mr. Andrews' new stuff. He's got a great new channel. Like I said, that video is fantastic. So check him out. His collaboration will be connected here on this video, and excited for the year to come. Hopefully it is much better from the year that we just suffered together.
Yeah.
But
better, a lot better. It should be better.
it should be.
There's no question about better.
Look,
Please, for the love of God,
It'd be a lot better.
we get Ricky Pooge back at least, so we get to at least like just look at our prints for a while and be like, oh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah. It's
I don't
always
want
fun
to see
watch
my
Ricky play.
Prince sad though, so we need to be a lot better than last year.
That's a good point. Alrighty, well,
It'll be fun.
from myself, Mila, the man that left Mr. Heelbite, Mr. Darius, and Mr. NGF Andrew. We've been Clash of Cosmos. This has been episode 32, and we will see you guys in the next one.
LA, Highland champions. They're going to go alone. Still back. What a goal. It's 6. They just cannot stop scoring. The volley from Votto. Yes. San Jose carved open with a world-class pass from Ricky Pooch.